My most anticipated thing out of D23, and I don't know if you guys agree, is Barry Jenkins' Mufasa.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Moonlight, and If Beale Street Could Talk are like two of the best movies ever.
I consider Moonlight to be the best A24 film. I know that's possibly a hot take. Seth has a little face. What's going on? You don't like these?
No, it's not that. I don't know if I like the idea of it.
It's not a remake. It's an original story.
My thing is.
It is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just put off by the Lion King live action. Maybe that's just sort of. But when I first saw it and when I read into it, I'm just not that convinced yet. But again, it is original story. Who knows? I think.
Trust me, I hear you, and I'm as skeptical as possible because Disney live action has clearly not had the best. I mean, just look at Pinocchio that just came out. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5 stars.
I tried to watch it this morning. I couldn't do it.
Don't do it. It's so bad.
It's 26 out of 100 for me.
I don't even know how I gave it a 1.5 out of 5 stars. But the Barry Jenkins is what's holding Mufasa afloat for me.
Yeah.
Because
it makes sense. It does make sense.
He is clearly a more than capable filmmaker. Obviously, Robert Zemeckis did Pinocchio, so I thought the exact same thing.
He's a capable filmmaker, yeah.
But he's a very capable filmmaker, and he made this piece of garbage. But I have trust in Barry Jenkins.
Has he? What other films has he done? Has he done anything else? I can't think.
His two big ones are Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk.
He's got one more.
He's got one more.
I've never seen it. I've heard it's pretty good.
Seen that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
A sleeper pick for me for D23, just to jump to another movie, is Disenchanted, because I love Amy Adams, and I feel like when Enchanted came out, she was in such a different point in her career than where she is now. Like since then, she's had Hustle, Vice, Arrival. Like she's like I feel like she took like a huge leap into like amazing acting performances.
He was amazing.
Since the original Enchanted. So it's gonna be cool to see her like go back to that world. Like she was so different in her career before. Like because it's been like how long has it been? Did that come out like
2007.
2007. Time ago.
Yeah, so she's changed so much. So I'm excited to see her return to that Enchanted world because I just actually recently watched it with my girlfriend. Like Enchanted was awesome.
Off topic, but Amy Adams not being nominated for Arrival is one of my least favorite things in the world.
George would add Zack Snyder's Justice League to that list. Probably.
Hey, I would add that too. I would add that
too. Whatever, man. Whatever.
I would like to. I'll shout out the Little Mermaid. It's a remake. I've got a lot of like skepticism with it, but the cast looks great. Halle Bailey, Melissa McCarthy, I think is a good actress and is just doing shit movies and just I just want her to come back to God a little bit.
I'm excited. I'm excited for
the original film was good.
I like the original film's
great music. Great music.
And Halle Bailey does give me some hope.
Yeah,
she really does. I don't know.
She's a good singer.
She's been in a couple of short films. She made some guest appearances on a few TV shows. She was actually in Nick Cannon's Wild and Out, which I think is hysterical for like an episode or two. So I think this is a nice breakthrough for her. It's Disney live action because we have to be nervous, but we can also be excited.
I know.
The trailer for that felt like the Avatar trailers that have been coming out, where it's just like panning shots of underwater.
Panning shots.
Massive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I think it was a tease, but
I actually have in my notes because we did get a concept art for Avatar 2. What is your level of excitement for Avatar 2?
I'm excited. Y'all are hating.
I'm excited. I hate the first one.
I won't say hate, but I highly dislike the first one.
Avatar is one of those films still. You know how Cam's like, he doesn't like speaking to people outside of the film.
Yeah.
Avatar is one of those films that's like a 45-year-old woman's like favorite film who's just not watched anything. And I just don't think it's a good film, the first one at all. However, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with the second one, but I'm not like crazy excited. I'm more just intrigued. I'm not that optimistic though, because I don't feel what can they do really with that?
Listen,
nothing really stands out to me.
It's a film with undeniable, amazing world building, and now
no one's denied that's
exactly. But my thing is, now we're 13 years away from the first Avatar. We've seen what filmmakers are capable of with Dune and Interstellar. We know what they can do with their level of CG. that's the only thing keeping Avatar 2 afloat for me, is because I'm a huge, obviously, visual presentation guy, and I have the utmost confidence that James Cameron will expand on that first movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
With that said, I don't like the first movie.
He's just such a jackass about it, man.
I don't like that first movie.
He's got the next 5 planned, and he was pushing this one off because he couldn't get the visual of water right, and it's like, God damn, man, you haven't come out with the second.
Cam, you're upset that James Cameron has the next 5 planned. Meanwhile, Kevin Feige has the next
I know.
Of Marvel already planned.
He's made more than one movie in the universe. I mean, my God.
How long
did it get off the pot?
Was the first one 2009?
First one's 2009, yeah.
Yeah.
Made so much.
I feel like retroactively people hate on Avatar. Like, I don't think Avatar's a great movie. It's still my best. Like Seth was saying, like a 45-year-old's favorite movie. My best friend is 24. It's his favorite movie. So like, there's still people like our age who love it. It's just, but I feel like people, I don't know. So Avatar, I don't think it's aged great, especially in the film talk community. But I feel like a lot of people undercut it still in terms of saying it wasn't a cultural like people are like, oh, it had no cultural impact and made all this money. Like, I know a lot of people outside the film talk community that like vividly remember going to see Avatar. They were like blown away. People still talk about it to me as like some of their favorite theater experiences. Like the one argument for Avatar, like I get it, people don't love it. It's Dances with Wolves, whatever. But I just feel like a lot of people just say like, oh, it wasn't even like a cultural impact that made all that money. I feel like it was. Like, and I feel like people undercut that a little bit because I think that was like, I still remember that when I was young, when that came out in theaters, like everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, there was no doubt. When you have a movie like Avatar where James Cameron was like, oh, I've been creating this brand new language for 20 years. We've been working on this film for 20 plus years. It's going to attract people into your theater.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, but like Tyler said, it's just a film that hasn't held up well, in my humble opinion, of course.
Whilst other films have been progressive.
It's also, it's not bad. It's not like a bad movie.
I think it's like a 5.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah. Like, it's good.
Yeah. I don't get it, but it's fine.
It's a 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah, that's
77 out of 100.
Okay. We also have, and this is behind Mufasa. This might be my most anticipated project out of D23. David Lowery is directing Peter Pan and Wendy, and Jude Law is coming in.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
which is crazy because David Lowery has done The Green Knight, Pete's Dragon, and A Ghost Story.
Okay. Pete's Dragon sucks,
so he's kind of all over the place. And Seth, I know you hear The Green Knight and you're a little skeptical.
I thought it was okay, but there was too much for it for me. I think it's one of those that needs a rewatch. I thought it was okay. That was a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
5.9,
which is fine.
5.9. That's what I think.
Well, I give it like a 8.6 to be fair.
87 out of 100.
That's an 80. That's a 4.5 out of 5.
George, 4.5.
4.5.
The difference.
Can I? And listen, I'm not trying to sound pretentious here. I want you to read up on the lore of this story and then rewatch. No, trust me. When I watched the movie for the first time, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read up on the lore of this universe, of this story, and I rewatched the movie, and I was like, okay, that was amazing.
I think I have the same issues with it that I had with Nope, to be honest. I think
it's just too much of a spectacle rather than storytelling. That's the criticism I've heard.
No, it is storytelling.
Yeah.
There was too much in it that didn't really need to be there, and there was quite construed messages at certain times. Which is not to say that it's not a good film, but just it wasn't really to my taste.
Listen, it's no doubt one of the most polarizing films that has come out this decade. I have it at a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I see some mutuals on Letterboxd that have it at a 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's much.
I want to take like a quick aside on that. George, you can reel us back in real quick, but you mentioned to read up on the lore. And it's just like a topic I hear a lot, like, because we're not professional movie critics, but, we review movies on TikTok and the internet. And people always say, like, especially my girlfriend always brings this up, like, should you, like, what do you think about changing your rating of a movie after you're, like, done watching it and you, like, read up about it, like, learn more about it? So it's not outside the movie experience, but you have to go out, seek a second source of material to learn up about it, and then changing your review of the movie after learning, like, secondary information. Like, what's your guys' thought on that?
Without rewatching it a second time.
Right, like for me, like I just watched 2001: A Space Odyssey, and after that I watched like so many YouTube videos explaining it, and it improved my perception of the movie a ton. But like, it's kind of weird, when you watch a movie, be like, "This is my thoughts on it," and then you read someone else's take on it, or watch an explained video, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, that all makes sense. I'm going to like elevate or lower my rating accordingly.
I do that more often than not, if I'm being honest. The amount of times I come home after watching a movie and go to YouTube and type ending explained is out of control. But at the same time, it's also a little hypocritical because my least favorite thing on TikTok is when I talk about a superhero movie or a comic book movie and people say, oh, you clearly have never read these comic books. Oh, this wasn't comic accurate. And it's like, shut up, it's a movie.
Yeah.
So,
I'm unsure because I think for me, if I've watched it and I've experienced it, my main thing would then to be watch it again, like in like a week or a month's time. I change ratings, in fairness, like quite a lot when I think I've been too harsh on something. But I think if I've just watched, say, The Green Knight, I read up on the law, I understand a little bit more about it, I wouldn't go directly to change my rating straight away because it didn't change my experience on my first time watch. I would have to watch it again and then
that's fair. That's fair.
Absorb the content a little bit more.
That's fair. I trust me. I always encourage a rewatch. I've watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 4 times, hoping that
I haven't seen it yet.
Hoping that one of these times I'll give it a higher rating than
I really like it.
Stars.
Me too.
That's polarizing.
I really like it.
That's polarizing.
It's one of my, I guess, hottest takes, and obviously the Tarantino discourse on TikTok is aggressive.
Yeah. It's not the Fincher. Fincher's worse.
It's too much sometimes. It's way too much.
Yeah. I have it up in the 90s.
All right, let's keep it going because there's one thing I want to talk about. Hocus Pocus 2. Is this anything other than a cash grab?
No, but can I give the one point I wanted to mention?
Yes.
Oh shoot, who's playing it? I said it yesterday. There's someone playing Billy Butcherson, and I just like that name because of the boys. That's all I wanted.
Doug Jones is playing Billy Butcherson. So we have Hocus Pocus 2, and the synopsis is 3 young women accidentally bring the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. That's a cash grab.
For me, it's nothing more. Yeah.
Hannah Waddingham deserves every role she can get, though, so good for her.
I mean, fair, but like, I don't think Hocus Pocus 1 is it's that much of a classic that warrants a cash grab sequel.
Haven't seen it since.
I don't know if it'll do that well.
I don't think it'll do that well at all.
No, I don't. It's not like a line.
It's a Disney Plus, so it's not going to make anything at the box office.
Yeah, it's coming right to streaming.
I don't know how like streaming services make their money. Like, what's a good return on investment for something like that?
I haven't read much up on that.
And then on top of that, to add to the cash grab nature of this film, we have Anne Fletcher, who's coming in as the director, whose average rating of her 6 directorial movies on Rotten Tomatoes is hovering around like a 35%.
Yeah, but what is it on Letterboxd? I can't look at Rotten.
That's fair. That's fair. Rotten Tomatoes.
I think you guys are
open right now.
People hate Rotten Tomatoes too much.
Too hot on it. It's not like perfect, but it's like you're not going to see a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes and be like, oh, these critics know nothing. I'm going to love this movie. Like at 9%, you're going to be like, yeah, it's fine out.
Yeah, 100%, and it'd be like a 6 out of 10.
I just don't like this. Okay, let's say we all watch a movie and we all gave it a 7 out of 10. That movie's gonna have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know. Yeah. I understand it. I get it. I think you guys are just a little crazy about hating it.
Oh, I'm furious.
I don't use Letterboxd or IMDb. Like I rarely use Rotten Tomatoes, but it's like
Letterboxd. You're converting
now. Yep.
Yeah, you'll convert. You'll use it.
It's like I'll just check out the initial reaction and be like, okay, maybe I should have my expectations higher, kind of thing.
We kind of glazed over. Rob Marshall is coming in to direct The Little Mermaid. I didn't know that until like last night when I was preparing for this episode. Rob Marshall obviously is Best Picture winner Chicago. He's also done the Daniel Day-Lewis starring 9. He's also done a pretty shitty film On Stranger Tides, if you guys recall that terrible Pirates movie.
I talk. Pirates fans will get you, man.
I don't get you. I get on every single TikTok I post.
I know.
So there's too much D23 stuff. So we also have, and let's like quickly run through this if you want to talk about it. We have Elemental coming out, which I think even the synopsis is.
It looks interesting.
It looks interesting. In a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together, a fiery young woman and a go-with-the-flow guy are about to discover something elemental, how much they actually have in common. I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Sure, let's do it. I don't care.
Sure, close enough.
The director, Peter San, has done one other film, The Good Dinosaur. He's also worked as an animator on WALL-E and The Incredibles and Toy Story 3. So there's some promise here, but it's nothing I'm killing myself over.
Yeah,
it looks interesting.
It looks interesting. What are you guys' thoughts on Inside Out 2?
I'm shocked you didn't mention that as your most anticipated.
See, I'm shocked too, because obviously...
Or even second.
Because I consider Inside Out to be the best animated film ever. I know that's an aggressively hot take. Trust me, I'm aware of that. But I don't know. I think when I rate a film that highly, I like it to just be a nice standalone film.
Yeah, did you expect a sequel to come out of it when you saw the first one the first time? Yeah, so
I like the sequel idea though. It's like teenage years.
Okay.
You know, like that's interesting, I think.
So let's bring up the elephant in the room. What are they going to do? She's in her teenage years. 3C Films on TikTok mentioned this too.
It's gonna be puberty.
Yeah. So what is it gonna be? How are they gonna dumb this down to a PG movie and make it good?
I'm not writing the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Yeah,
and they're also bringing in Kelsey Mann, who doesn't have a directing history.
I also saw something about Bill Hader not getting signed back because they couldn't offer him a deal. I don't know if that's BS or not. That was from TikTok comments.
Yeah,
it could be BS. But if that happened, then I'd be a lot more skeptical. If he's not getting brought back.
I don't know. I'm happy Amy Poehler's back.
Oh, of course.
Kelsey Mann as the director, it makes me nervous. He obviously has experience. He's been an animator on Onward. I think he also was co-writer of Lightyear. But listen, as someone who rates Inside Out 1 as highly as I do, the greatest animated film I've ever watched, I'm nervous. Yeah. I'm nervous.
That's fair. Right. I mean,
let's move a little bit away from Disney.
Can I mention one thing you missed?
Absolutely.
Snow White was announced, and Rachel Zegler is just at the top of her game right now.
That's what Gal Gadot's in that too. Right?
Gal Gadot is the evil, which I don't remember Snow White for shit. To be honest with you. I know the general plot, but
wait, what is Gal Gadot playing in Snow White? What role?
The evil grandmother or whatever.
With that accent. I can't take that seriously, I don't think.
Also, isn't the evil evil grandma a unattractive woman?
Yeah, no. They'll probably see.
They can make people.
Yeah, but why would you hire an attractive actress and just be let's just make her whatever?
What are we gonna do? Hire an ugly actress?
This could stray to a bad territory.
I mean, let's call a spade. Gal Gadot is not a good actress.
No,
is that a hot take? She's a great Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Fantastic performance in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Of course. Now she's a good Wonder Woman. I'll fight on that, but I don't think she's
okay. But in the Red Notice, she was just as stale as possible.
Was anyone good in that? Was anyone good in that? That's one of the most middle of the ground movies I've ever seen.